Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to be spending some time on IEC 61000-4-18 testing with the EMC Partner DOW3000. We'll start by going over a little bit about the test system, then we'll move to the connections in the front and the back, and then finally we'll go ahead and we'll run a quick test. The DOW3000 is a damped oscillatory waveform generator, which we have configured to provide waveforms at 3 MHz, 10 MHz, and 30 MHz at 4 kV. This makes it an ideal solution for the fast pulses of IEC 61000-4-18. This test system also has a built-in CDN, allowing for testing 3-phase up to 690 volts. Let's go ahead now. Let's take a little closer look at the front of the DOW3000. Here's the front of the DOW3000. Let's go ahead and let's start from the upper left and let's work our way right. All the way on the upper left, we have the touch screen display. Just below that, we have our power button, and then next to that, a series of connections. The first of these connections is the USB port. Next to that, we have the auxiliary connection. And then finally, we have our measurement and trigger outputs. Taking a look now to the right of the display, we have the rotary knob as well as the start and stop buttons. All the way on the right, we have our emergency stop. As we mentioned previously, we have our DOW3000 test system configured for the fast oscillatory pulses. However, if the system has other capabilities, such as the slow pulses or surge, you'll see those connections kind of towards the bottom on the right of the top section. Let's go ahead now and let's take a look at the bottom half of our system. Starting on the left is the EUT power input. And as we work our way right, just next to that, we have the fuses. Below the fuses, you'll see the EUT power on button. Just to the right of that, we have our unfused EUT input, and you can see right there, it's also our DC input. As we work our way right, we have our outputs. First, we have the EUT power output, and then finally, all the way on the right, we have our DOW fast output. The DOW fast output is for the direct injection of the oscillatory waveforms done without power. Let's go ahead now, let's get the unit turned around and take a look at the back. Here's the back of the DOW3000, and there's only a few connections we're going to walk through quickly. Starting on the left, we have our AC input, our switch, as well as our fuse. All the way on the right side now, we have our auxiliary connection, and then just to the right of that, we have a series of control connections. The first two are going to be our RS485. Just below that, we have our Ethernet, and then finally, we have our EUT fail and our trigger input. That should complete the back of the system. Let's go ahead now. Let's get the system turned around, powered up, and take a look at the display. All right, here's the starting display for the DOW3000. You can see we have the fast pulses highlighted, as that's what we have our DOW3000 configured for. If you have other capabilities installed on the unit, you'll see those on the display as well. Let's go ahead now and let's select our fast waveforms test. Here you'll see the damped oscillatory waveform test menu, and you can see we have our criteria on the left side, as well as a series of options along the bottom. Taking a look at the criteria on the left, we have frequency, level, polarity, level ramp, and polarity alternation. Taking a look at the bottom, we're currently in the level tab. Next to that, we have time, sync, and coupling. Let's go ahead now and let's click on the frequency on the top of the criteria section on the left. And there you can see we have options for 3, 10, and 30 megahertz. We're going to keep 3 megahertz frequency for today's video. All right, now let's go ahead and let's take a look at the time tab at the bottom. And you can see it's a very similar setup to the level where you have test criteria along the left for test time, burst repetition and duration, pulse spacing, and trigger mode, as well as a visual representation on the right. Let's go ahead now. Let's take a look at the final tab for coupling. You can see there's a couple different options here. We have coupling device, coupling, as well as multiple coupling. Now if we select coupling device, you can see right there we have options for direct as well as CDN. So if you do have the direct option selected, this is going to be a direct injection type of method where the power is not typically on for your equipment under test. We're going to go ahead and we're going to keep the CDN selected. All right, so we just walked through some of the different menus and changing some criteria. Let's go ahead now, let's hit the run button and take a brief look at the waveform. All right, so here's our waveform, and without diving too deep into this, everything looks as anticipated given the criteria we selected. All right, that should complete the video today on IEC 61000-4-18 testing with the EMC Partner DOW3000. We began the video by going over a little bit about the system, then we moved to the connections in the front and the back, and then finally we spent some time on the software and ran a test. We hope this video has been useful, and please keep us in mind if you ever need to rent test equipment for IEC 61000-4-18.